Yeah. We just gonna spit on this one. Yo. Hey. I don't get writer's block, I just write them odd. I'm crisp like a Sprite when it's hot. This ain't you might just get dropped. Like it or not, I'm a likable guy, I'm psyching them odd. I was fighting in lots while you were just cycling thoughts. You a dyke in the box, so now listen. The way you pitching, you gon' need more than a mound visit. You sound timid and I don't kick it with round midgets. That hound misses, I found this is the way losers acting around misfits. Pound for pound, I'm the listing. You can bounce and get dismissed, clown, get this. Couldn't walk a mile wearing my Fitbit. Competition is non-existent, and you ain't worth the honorable mention. It hurts cause you don't wanna listen. Certainly I'm on a mission. Bone picking lame cats with face tats that I can't tell the difference in. Splitting images, depicting sentiments and lifestyles they never lived within. These cats are children men, depending on ill wills and pills again. Tell me I don't wanna sell, because it's on my own terms. W or L, whether I succeed or fail. No plan to see you in hell. He can tell, stick around or he can bail. It don't matter to me cause I'ma eat as well. You can get yours in, it's important. I'ma get mine, not interdependent, cause wealth is not a fixed pie. Meaning you blaming your lack of success on another while you sit and do nothing is for losers and suckers, my brother. Man, just sitting here thinking, if I could just like rap like that every single track, I thoroughly enjoy rap a lot more than what I do now. It seems like so many cats really have downgraded in terms of rhyme schemes and lyricism, but let's get back into it. I'm more than a rare exception, you can't compare him. I'm fly as Tuskegee Airman. My patience is as thin as her pins. You find a sucker cat that's talking smack and I'll just dare him. Come at me sideways attacking, I'm pushing back your chin. I know you sour, you adhere to fear, and I'm overpowered like Jiren or Beerus. You delirious, seriously you a joke or high of Oxycontin. Better yet, you a moron and knock the Oxycontin, not the likes of mine. I remember sitting back laughing, hoping that I get signed. Now I own my own tracks, riding waves of the hypermind. Popular and dirt poor broke, that ain't my type of grind. If I got starter talent, then why would I wanna ride the pine? Pipe it down, listen closely. I'm on the flow, you in the nosebleeds. That's cause I spent my days with no sleep. You fools know me, and low-key, you little bro sheep. A little bo peep, you like a vicious dog with no teeth. And I'm an animal that's off the handle, standing on the mantle. Rap game, John Randall, opposition manhandle. You can't light a dang candle on a sandhill with 20 matches and a handbill. You ain't got nan skill. You see these jokers, yeah, they mediocre. Don't get your hopes up, a contradiction like an old pup. I'm pulling cards like Ilyasova from deep playing Minnesota. Indeed, I'm a Timberwolf, and you just a mini crook. Won't let you off any hook. And plenty rooks thinking that they can get me shook, but on top of the scoring title, I'm locking up like Michael, the Jordan, and beforehand, I had the floor plan and the door hand, so they adore him. I can't let it slide. I can't let it slide. Nah. Look like we got another one of them. Popping at the mouth or the side of his neck when he pouts, no argument, no rebuttal from. He ain't from my town, I don't know him, so I'm guessing he's a clown like he wanted me to love on him. But you know that ain't my style, yet he still got my name in his mouth and I ain't running for cover from. A bunch of lambs, how you figure you getting fame from my clout, so let's get this cleared now. I'm cold like an Eastern February, but that hating isn't necessary. You being petty cause you see me rising, becoming legendary, and you talking down like you very scary. Come on, dude. Get on, fool. Typing and writing on a post to get a cosign when you wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight in the produce section at Whole Foods. I already told you. Since my adolescence, I had to stress that never being less than being excellent is the motto I follow. For throttle, I gotta be some sort of testament. If I strive to do it, be the best at it. So testing this is rather pointless of pandemonium. My opponent, full of baloney, I'm owning him. He's a phony one, cause I can't allow it. I'm overpowered like Bowser, and your mouth is writing checks with a negative balance. You can't cash that. I don't think it's covered by that Affleck. High side if you want, but you putting on a bad act. I promise you it ain't worth it. It's more than getting laughed at. You don't want to task that, so back and do oblige. I'm killing it like it's a pesticide. I'm prepared if you get in my way, the endeavor's fine. I never settle, I got the better mind. So if you knocking my grind, I just can't let it slide.
I just wanna be who I wanna be. I ain't getting in nobody's way, but if you get in mine, then you're gonna be in a bad place. Nah, don't get me wrong. Please don't misunderstand my tone. I created my own lane. lane, so you ain't got no business being in it. So you should see why I can't let it slide.
Nah, I done did a lot just to get by, so I can't let it slide. I escaped the mental shackles, I ain't got patience for these bastards, I can't let it slide. I ain't saying I'll attack you, I'm saying this bigger than rappers. I'm saying that you need to back up, so back up. I'm saying that this will not end in a tie, I can't let it slide.
My politics are rather controversial. Who would've thought that I ain't catching all slack, and I have enemies on my ball sack. I'm thinking insanity's what you call that, and I just get appalled at. I'm blacker than Nina the Samoan. I just want freedom and want all these people left alone. How in the world is that champing you? Laughable, you catch an attitude. Glad that you going mad cause my attributes call me bad and a radical, but that is so irrational. Mathematically, I'm past that degree to these rapper dudes. Had another latitude, and that'll prove you lacking too. You roll with a pack of dudes that last you cause you whacking your raps a poo. You need a faculty that's backing you. Your rapping is not compatible. Battle me and that'll be the day. There'll be a casualty, and that don't mean you have to go away. It don't matter to me. Tactically, I'm leaving nothing left. So you can get a step or you can kick rocks like you work construction on a 10th block. So don't do it, you foolish, if you thinking that I've since stopped. I'm just getting started, so when this drop, get ready. Cause I ain't playing about you, I'm praying that you try to get fly like a pterodactyl. I'm staring at you, you better back up, you're damn near try. Apparently I've earned it all, not just a piece of the pie, so I can't let it slide.
I just wanna be who I wanna be. I ain't getting in nobody's way, but if you get in mine, then you're gonna be in a bad place. Nah, don't get me wrong, please don't misunderstand my tone. I created my own lane, so you ain't got no business being in it. So you should see why I can't let it slide.
Nah, I done did a lot just to get by, so I can't let it slide. I escaped the mental shackles, I ain't got patience for these bastards, I can't let it slide. I ain't saying I'll attack you, I'm saying this bigger than rappers. I'm saying that you need to back up, so back up. I'm saying that this will not end in a tie, I can't let it slide.
All you bitches better know my name. Nobody you hoes, I'm coming from South Park. Get you out the dark, I'ma spit your fucking face apart. No threat to our
What up, everybody? Happy Wednesday, and welcome to Cannon Speaks. I am Cannon Hotep, and if you're new, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon, and it'll let you know when I got new content coming out. Please share this video, share this stream, let people know that we're live. If you're catching the replay, leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. So we got a good one for you today, people. We're going to touch on two subjects today. The first one we're going to do is we're going to go through the Matthew McConaughey White House speech that happened. And we're going to go through that. We're going to critique that. And also Salon.com with their mental gymnastics. Not sure if any of you guys caught their headline today. However, apparently they took it down, renamed it, and put it back up. And it still sounds batshit in the context in which they're trying to portray gun control and when it comes to black folks. So I got a question for you guys today. And again, if you're catching the replay, leave it in the comments. At the end of this, do you agree with Matthew McConaughey? Do you think he has some points? Or do you think, he is just towing the line? Again, leave that in the chat. If you're new and you're catching the replay, leave it in the comments. Do you think Matthew McConaughey had some points? Did you think that he was crazy? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate that. Anyway, let's see who we got so far in the chat. We got my man Jay Pylon. He says, "What's good, chat? Come in and hit that like. If you new, hit that subscribe. Salute." That's right. Help me out. Jay also says they coming for the 2A in the midst of wars and rumors of wars, exposing all our vulnerabilities. Order out of chaos moves. That's facts. That's facts. That's facts. We got Kayak Dog in the building. What's going on, Kayak Dog? Appreciate you. We got James that's in the building. What's going on, James? Appreciate you. We got Jay and Jax in the building. Appreciate you coming through. I'm sure more people will come through as YouTube lets them know that I am live, because they like to slow roll that out. They love to slow roll that out. Right now we got 13 in the building. Let's get 13 likes. Let's get 13 likes, and let's go ahead and share this stream out. Share this stream out. Appreciate you guys. Let's see. All right. So let's get to the first story. The first story, we're going to start with the Salon.com nonsense. Let's get to it. All right, let's find it. Here we go. See something. So from Salon, Ronald Reagan's moment of massive historical irony: how armed black men led to gun control. When armed Black Panthers showed up at the California state capitol in 1967, they probably saved thousands of lives. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. On May 2nd, 1967, the destinies of Huey Newton, Bobby Seale, and Ronald Reagan collided. The day saved untold thousands of lives. At the time, California was an open carry state. With few gun restrictions, Governor Reagan was on the steps of the Capitol to meet and share lunch with a group of visiting 8th graders, and when Newton, Seale, and nearly 30 other Black Panthers pulled up out front in a small caravan of cars. Armed with everything from pistols to 12-gauge shotguns, they climbed a half-dozen steps to the area around the front doors of the building. Seale pulled out a prepared statement and read it to the students and the people in the front of the Capitol. Black people have begged, prayed, petitioned, demonstrated, and everything else to get the racist power structure of America to right the wrongs which have historically been perpetuated against black people. The time has come for black people to arm themselves against the terror before it's too late. Sound like a prophecy to me. Sound like a prophecy to me. What y'all think? What y'all think? They then walked into a building to confront the state police and legislators, fully loaded guns and rifles in their hands. Reagan was aghast, and the nearly all-white California legislator panicked. There's no reason why on the streets today a citizen should be carrying loaded weapons, Reagan said after that afternoon. Within a few weeks, Republican Assembly Don Mulford, that's where the Mulford Act came from, people, with bipartisan support, introduced into California Assembly law a law called AB 1591, which is also called the Mulford Act, to ban people in California from carrying loaded weapons in public. It was enthusiastically signed into law by Reagan on July 28th, fewer than 3 months after Seale's proclamation at the Capitol. Over the following years, California built on that initial gun control law after a 1989 school shooting in Stockton, when a young white man wielding a semi-automatic weapon murdered 5 children and a teacher while injuring 30 others. California passed a ban on assault weapons that stands to this day. Wonder how that ban's working out for them in California. The state went on to ban private gun sales, closing the notorious gun show loophole. I'll explain that later. That pours weapons into other states. California requires all gun dealers to be registered and licensed by the state. They're acting like that just happened. That was always a thing. Mandates background checks, even outlawed the manufacture of manufacture and sale of cheap Saturday night special handguns in the state. When California puts its own version of red flag laws into place, laws forbidding people flagged at risk for committing gun crimes or mass murders from purchasing guns. The state followed up. It's one of the few in the country with an agency that studies gun violence, and found them to be nearly 100% effective because of how difficult the state makes it to obtain a weapon. Oh, how difficult does California make it to obtain a weapon? While in Texas, here we go. While in Texas, a violent criminal on a federal no-fly terrorist watch list is welcome to buy a dozen assault weapons from the back of a car and go shoot up a school. In California, you can buy a gun if you've been convicted of any violent crime whatsoever, even a misdemeanor like a bar fight. Okay, so let's unpack all of this. Let's unpack all of this, people. So Salon is trying to make an argument for gun control by pointing out the racist roots of said gun control. They literally pointed out that Ronald Reagan was afraid of the Black Panthers being armed and ready to take up arms against the government, that he banned everyone from having firearms in California just so the black man wouldn't have guns in California. Let me say that again. He was so afraid of the Black Panthers being armed. He was so afraid of the black man being armed that he passed a law making sure nobody could carry guns on the streets, just so the black man wouldn't be carrying guns on the streets. But see, the funny part is that Salon ran with this, not really understanding the irony behind what they just fucking wrote. The proclamation was pretty much a prophecy. He's right. This proves to you that they want you defenseless and helpless. They want the monopoly on power to be a part of the state. And some of the misleading bullshit that they had in this article, no matter where you go, you need to do a background check. No matter where you go, even if it's a constitutional state, constitutional carry state, you still have to do a background check in order for you to leave with a firearm. We already have a federal background check. It's called the NICS, instant background check. We have that already. All right. The gun show loophole, there is no gun show loophole. What they're talking about is somebody being outside of a gun show selling a gun out the back of their car, which is already pretty much illegal in most states. It's a legal period for handguns. You can't sell a handgun out the back of your car without, doing a background check. You know what I mean? I can't go to a gun show and somebody say, "Yo, I got this Glock 19, $400." I can't buy that gun from that guy out the back of his car. We have to go to a FFL. I have to do my NICS form. I have to do my state background check. Then I have to wait 8 days. Now, not every place do you have to wait 8 days to buy a handgun, but you still have to do that background check for your handgun. That's already illegal to do, to sell a handgun out the back of your car anywhere. Now, long guns is different. Long guns in certain states you can, as long as you have a bill of sale proving that you sold the gun to whoever you sold the gun to. But there is no gun show loophole. You go to any gun show, I challenge you guys, go to any gun show, try to purchase a long gun or a handgun, and I promise you they're going to ask you for your ID. They're gonna ask for your ID, and they're gonna hand you a laptop, a tablet, or a piece of paper for you to fill out a background check for them to check your background before they sell you a weapon. That's what it is. I've been to gun shows in Virginia. I've been to gun shows in Pennsylvania, and I've been to gun shows in Maryland. Every time I go, I want to get something. Oh, not to mention, if you do buy a gun from out of state, they have to ship it to an FFL here. So if I want to buy a gun in Virginia or I want to buy a gun in Pennsylvania, I can buy that gun, but I can't take that gun with me. I have to have that gun shipped to an FFL here in Maryland, a federal firearms licensed dealer. I have to have them shipped to an FFL here in Maryland where I can pick my gun up. That's how that works. I have to go through another NICS form to buy it, and if it's a handgun, I have to do my state paperwork and wait another 8 days. See, the NICS form works when state agencies or federal agencies report to them. But see, they don't want to report to them because they want a federal registry. So, for example, Sutherland Springs, the Sutherland Springs shooting at the church. That guy was in the Air Force. He was dishonorably discharged and charged with beating his wife. The Air Force and the Department of Justice, which was under Obama at the time, they didn't report it. They didn't report the charges. They didn't report the dishonorable discharge. So that guy slipped through the cracks of gun control, of the background, the federal background check that he has to go through to even purchase a long gun. But like I said, this article here, Salon, you just proved that gun control has racist roots and that gun control is still racist, period. See, the vast majority of these shootings happen in inner city neighborhoods. Mostly gang violence, black on black crime, shit like that, right? And a lot of these neighborhoods are low income neighborhoods, so a lot of these people can't afford to move, right? They can't afford to move. None of that shit, you know what I mean? A lot of people got to stay where they are. So their only recourse is to purchase a handgun to protect themselves from home invasions and shit like that. But see, the powers that be want to make it difficult for those people to defend themselves by any means necessary, how they see fit. Hotep's been told you it wasn't going to stop with just rifles, with the dreaded AR-15 and the dreaded AK-47, right? Or any of those nice rifles you see up on my wall. They want them all. Now they call it 9mm high caliber. Canada just banned the sale of handguns. Joe Nicholslick has alluded to the banning of 9mm and handguns. Anything with the ability to hold more than 10 rounds, he wants to ban. New York may lose this Supreme Court ruling and have to be a shall issue state. But what are they doing? Oh, they preparing for it. See, New York just banned body armor. So not only can you not purchase a firearm, right? You gotta go through all these loopholes. You can't carry one on your person right now. You can't even wear a fucking vest just to protect your body. You can't get a vest to protect your body. You can't get soft armor to put in your kid's book bag. It's all illegal unless you're the police or the military or like an armed guard service. semi-automatic rifles, you gotta be 21 now. Never mind that you can hunt at 18 or 16 if I'm not mistaken. Never mind that you can go overseas and fight another man's war at 18 and shoot every goddamn thing, carry anything. You can't even defend yourself in your own country. So they're old enough to go to war, but they're not old enough to own a firearm. It's just crazy to me. But see, Salon thought they had something here. If it wasn't for Ronald Reagan's racist haste to pass gun control in California, people be running willy-nilly like the Wild West. No. That just further proves that gun control is racist. They didn't have any problem with anybody walking the streets with fully loaded weapons until they were confronted by Huey P. Newton and Barry Seals. Oh, man. Hey, Salon, you dropped the ball on this one. You dropped the ball on this one, Salon. This is 1967. 1967. That's in the midst of the fucking civil rights movement, right? It was fucking us up with dogs and fucking fire hoses and batons and shit like that, wasn't they? Right? It was whooping black people ass. Next thing you know, Barry Seal and them, they strut up to the Capitol. They got their shotguns and they got their Mini 14. That's what it looked like in your hand. All right, so what he got? That's what it looked like to me. Yeah, look a nice Mini 14 to me. All right. Just saying. Huh. Right. All of a sudden, oh no, this is a problem. Never mind black people being fed up with getting their asses handed to them during the civil rights movement. Oh, they're ready to do something about it. Let's hurry and pass these laws and make it illegal for them to do something about it, to defend themselves. Let's pass a law to make it illegal for them to defend themselves. Before it's too late. Y'all dropped the ball, Salon. Anyway, let's see what you guys got to say in the chat. Let's see what we got here. My man DMW in the building. What's up? Salute, salute, salute. We got Raider Nation Unlimited in the building. What's up, Jonesy? What's going on? Jonesy said, don't whoop ass unless you don't want a gun. Jay says, the left are revealing the worst of themselves in 2022. Salon, Joy Behar, to name a few. Shout out to Jonesy and DMW. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. I still think so. Because once they pass these laws, once Nickel Slick get his executive orders in place, where y'all think they're going to go to enforce these laws at? Where y'all think they're going to go first to enforce these laws? They going to the black neighborhoods. They're coming to the black neighborhoods to lock your black asses up. That's where they're going to enforce these laws. 2024 crime, what was it, 2023? 2023 crime bill coming soon. Understand that. My man Handy Bob in the building. That's cool. I'm happy you made it, Handy. We got Cassius Cam in the building. What's going on? Hotep or die, bro. We got Prince Revolver in the building. What's the deal? Hotep Oz, what it do? Appreciate you making it. Oh, we got Jimmy Doss, Hotep in the building. Jimmy says, they're coming after everything. They don't want us to have the ability to defend our lives and liberty. This government arms cartels, Ukraine, Bin Laden, etc. But wants to disarm me. Not happening. I hear you, bro. I hear you. We got Emmanuel Presley in the building. What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? '94 Crime Bill 2. Yes, that is right. Yep. Jim Crow Joe. That's the whole reason why they call that man Jim Crow Joe. One if motherfuckers still want to go out in the electric slide in the street still. You know what I mean? Crazy. But yeah, Salon dropped the ball on that one. That is funny. The funny part is I wasn't even paying attention. HJ sent me this thing. I started reading. I said, yo, are they really trying to use this to make an argument for gun control? Are you kidding me? Are they really trying to use this article to make an argument for gun control? Honestly, you're making an argument. You're making an argument for why we need to get rid of it. You're making an argument for why black people need to strap up. Why everybody, all Americans need to strap up. You expose the hand, Salon. Oh, man. Prince Revolver says, now I can say that I'm a black libertarian and realize just how vital our Constitution really is. That came on the heels of him saying I was mostly moderate on a lot of issues, but last past year I grew more right leaning. Did research on the abolitionists, Frederick Douglass, and black conservatives. I hear you. I hear you. So all it takes is a couple of quick Google searches or whatever engine you're using, some books, you know, to understand this is all done by design, order through chaos. Hegelian dialectic. They create the problem and they create solution to the problem that they created. That's what it is. Now they want to distract us with this whole day in January nonsense. They supposed to televise it. They got a fucking production crew and some more shit. All the world's a stage, people. All the world is a stage. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it, people. Emmanuel says, I'm still figuring out how Fidel Trudeau used American gun violence to pass gun laws in Canada. More power to you, Prince Revolver. Go ahead and get that thing, man. Man, listen. Never let a good crisis go to waste. That's period. Trudeau, Nickel Slick, Schumer, Pelosi, all work for the same people. Y'all getting their cash from the same people. Y'all getting their marching orders from the same people. That's how. That's how. But strap up, people. Get your ammo while you can. Get your 9mm while you can. Before it's too late. Anyway. So next on the list is I want to listen to this Matthew McConaughey speech with you guys. It's a decent length video, but we'll stop and we'll discuss it. Like to know what you guys are thinking. If you're new, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon. It'll let you know when I got new content up. Please share this stream, let people know we're live. Help me beat that algorithm. If you're catching the replay, leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. The question of the day is, do you think Matthew McConaughey is crazy? Or do you think he has a point? We're about to find out soon enough, right? Let me know in the comments. All right, let's get into it. All right, pause the music real quick. My man DMW says, all you law-abiding gun owners, don't bend. That's right. Don't bend. Don't give an inch. If you give an inch, they take a mile. You know that. You know that. All right, let's get into this.
To make the loss of these lives matter. My wife and I, Camilla, we spent most of last week on the ground with the families in Uvalde, Texas. We shared stories, tears, and memories. The common thread, independent of the anger and the confusion and the sadness, it was the same. How can these families continue to honor these deaths by keeping the dreams of these children and teachers alive? Again, how can the loss of these lives matter? So while we honor and acknowledge the victims, we need to recognize that this time, it seems that something is different. There is a sense that perhaps there's a viable path forward. Responsible parties in this debate seem to at least be committed to sitting down and having a real conversation about a new and improved path forward. A path that can bring us closer together and make us safer as a country. A path that can actually get something done this time. Camilla and I came here to share my stories from my hometown of Uvalde. Came here to take meetings with elected officials on both sides of the aisle. We came here to speak to them, to speak with them, and to urge them to speak with each other. To remind and inspire them that the American people will continue to drive forward the mission of keeping our children safe, because it's more than our right to do so. It's our responsibility to do so. I'm here today in the hopes of applying what energy, reason, and passion that I have into trying to turn this moment into a reality. Because as I said, this moment is different. We are in a window of opportunity right now that we have not been in before. A window where it seems like real change can happen. Uvalde, Texas is where I was born. It's where my mom taught kindergarten.
Now, before he gets into his whole spiel, right? His whole spiel. He keeps talking about real conversations. It's the left that don't want to have the conversations. Right? It's the gun grabbers. It's the people that want, quote unquote, common sense gun reform. They're the ones that don't want to have the conversation because they can't substantiate and they can't back up their claims. They can't. All they can do is tug on the heartstrings of people. So when he says to have a conversation, is there a conversation to be had? Yes, there's a conversation to be had when it comes to, protecting our children, protecting our families, protecting our communities. There's definitely a conversation to be had. But it seems that one side doesn't want to have that conversation. But I digress. Let's get into it.
Less than a mile from Robb Elementary. Uvalde is where I learned to master a Daisy BB gun. That took 2 years before I graduated to a .410 shotgun. Uvalde is where I was taught to revere the power and the capability of the tool that we call a gun. Uvalde is where I learned responsible gun ownership. Now, Uvalde called me on May 24th when I learned the news of this devastating tragedy. I had been out of cellular range, working in the studio all day when I emerged, and messages about a mass shooting in the town I was born in began flooding my inbox. In a bit of shock, I drove home, hugged my children a bit tighter and longer than the night before. And then the reality of what had happened that day in the town I was born in set in. So the next morning, Camilla, myself, the kids, we loaded up the truck and we drove to Uvalde. And when we arrived a few hours later, I got to tell you, even from the inside of our vehicle, you could feel the shock in the town. You could feel the pain.
So what he's doing, right, is he's setting the scene. He's setting the mood. He's doing what actors do. He's getting you emotionally invested into what he's about to say.
The denial, the disillusion, anger, blame, sadness, loss of lives, dreams halted. We saw ministries, we saw first responders, counselors, cooks, families trying to grieve without it being on the front page news. We met with the local funeral director and countless morticians who hadn't slept since the massacre the day before, because they've been working 24/7 trying to handle so many bodies at once, so many little innocent bodies who had their entire lives still yet to live. And that is there that we met two of the grieving parents, Ryan and Jessica Ramirez. Their 10-year-old daughter, Alethea. She was one of the 19 children that were killed the day before. Now, Alethea, her dream was to go to art school in Paris and one day share her art with the world. Ryan and Jessica were eager to share Alethea's art with us and said if we could share it, that somehow, maybe that would make Alethea smile in heaven.
Again, like I said, he's trying to do a set that he's trying to tug on your heartstrings. He's trying to pull on your heartstrings. He's trying to make you emotionally invested. I mean, smart tactic. You know?
They told us that showing someone else Alethea's art would in some way keep her alive. Now, this particular drawing is a self-portrait, all right, of Alethea drawing with her friend in heaven looking down on her, drawing the very same picture. Her mother said of this drawing, she said, you know, we never really talked to her about heaven before, but somehow she knew. Alethea was 10 years old. Her father, Ryan, this man was steady. He was uncommon.
Now, me, right, personally, I get having like some cliff notes, you know, some shit that you might have talked to some people about. But it seems to me that this was pre-written for him, right? Because I feel like if you had these conversations with these people just, you know, the other day or whatever, you remember such emotional, tragic event. You know what I mean? I get looking down like, oh yeah, such and so. And then you just going off memory because you had these conversations with people. You talked to him, allegedly. You shouldn't need to look at a piece of paper to remember what he said to you. You should be able to come off the top of the head with it. Just saying.
When a frazzled friend of his came up and said, how are you so calm? I'd be going crazy. Ryan told him, he said, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You'd be strong for your wife and kids because if they see you go crazy, that will not help them. Just a week prior, Ryan got a full-time line job, stringing power lines from pole to pole. And every day since landing that well-paying full-time job, he reminded his daughter Alethea, he said, girl, Daddy gonna spoil you now. Told her every single night, he said, Daddy's gonna take you to SeaWorld one day. But he didn't get to spoil his daughter. Alethea She did not get to go to SeaWorld. We also met Anna and Danilo, the mom and the stepdad of 9-year-old Maite Rodriguez. Now, Maite wanted to be a marine biologist. She was already in contact with Corpus Christi University of A&M for her future college enrollment. 9 years old. Maite cared for the environment so strongly that when the city asked her mother if they could release some balloons into the sky in her memory, her mom said, "Oh, no, Maite wouldn't want to litter." Maite wore green high-top Converse with a heart she had hand-drawn on the right toe because they represented her love of nature. Camilla's got these shoes. Can you show these shoes, please? Wore these every day. Green Converse with a heart on the right toe.
Now, I seen on social media they showing the shoes, and hers were brand new green ones, and the ones the little girl wore were kind of not run down, but they were pretty worn. Green, where the green was lighter. I mean, clearly, they don't have the little girl's actual shoes. They brought another pair of shoes and put a heart on it for dramatic effect. Again, want to tug on those heartstrings. Want to get you on their level. Get you emotionally invested. All right, let's keep it moving.
These are the same green Converse on her feet that turned out to be the only clear evidence that could identify her after the shooting. How about that?
He about to go into his all right. Like he's overselling it. Now, is a possibility that he is actually genuinely emotionally invested himself? Maybe. However, he is an A-list actor. His job is to make you emotionally invested in a character that he plays.
They wrote a letter. Her mom said if Maite's letter could help someone accomplish her dream, that then her death would have an impact. And it would mean her dying had a point and wasn't pointless. That it would make the loss of her life matter. The letter reads, "Marine biologist, I want to pass school to get to my dream college. My dream college is in Corpus Christi by the ocean. I need to live next to the ocean because I want to be a marine biologist. Marine biologists study animals and the water. Most of the time I will be in a lab. Sometimes I will be on TV." Then there was Ellie Garcia, a 10-year-old, and her parents, Stephen and Jennifer. Ellie loved to dance and she loved church. She even knew how to drive tractors and was already working with her dad and her uncle mowing yards. Ellie was always giving of her gifts, her time, even half-eaten food on her plate, they said.
Kayak
Around the
dog.
house,
He do
called
like
her the great
he would play
regifter.
Joe Osteen in a movie.
Smiling through tears, her family told us how Ellie loved to embrace, said she was the biggest hugger in the family. Now, Ellie was born Catholic, but had been going to Baptist church with her uncle for the last couple of years. Her mom and dad were proud of her because they said she was learning to love God no matter where. The week prior to her passing, she'd been preparing to read a verse from the Bible for the next Wednesday night's church service. The verse was from Deuteronomy 6:5. "And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might." That's who Ellie was becoming. But she never got to read it. Service on that Wednesday night. Then there was a fairy tale love story of a teacher named Irma and her husband Joe. What a great family this was. This was an amazing family. Camilla and I, we sat with about 20 of their family members in their living room, along with their 4 kids. Kids were 23, 19, 15, and 13. They shared all these stories about how Irma and Joe served the community and would host all these parties, and how Irma and Joe were planning on getting a food truck together when they soon retired. They were humble, hard-working people. Irma was a teacher who her family said went above and beyond and just couldn't say no to any kind of teaching. Joe had been commuting to and from work 70 miles away in Del Rio for years. Together they were the glue of the family. Both worked overtime to support their 4 kids. Irma even worked.
All right, so let me see if we can't find where he starts talking about gun control.
Natural as possible for their open casket viewing are going to be needed in Uvalde for a long time. Counsels are needed. Camilla and me, that they want their children's dreams to matter. Look, we heard from so many people, right? Families of the deceased, mothers, fathers, damn guns. Gun laws that won't make it so easy. Gun owners who won't give up their. We heard from so many people, right? Families of the
Let's see what we
deceased,
got.
mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, Texas Rangers, hunters, Border Patrol, and responsible gun owners who won't give up their Second Amendment right to bear arms. And you know what they all said? We want secure and safe schools, and we want gun laws that won't make it so easy for the bad guys to get these damn guns. So, we know it's on the table. We need to invest in mental health care. We need safer schools. We need to restrain sensationalized media coverage. We need to
So, we need to do something about mental health. I agree. We need to get a handle on sensationalized media coverage. I agree. All right. We need to protect the schools. I agree. I agree. I agree. But what are his solutions?
restore our family values. We need to restore our American values. And we need responsible gun ownership. Responsible gun ownership. We need.
I agree with responsible gun ownership. No 2A supporting gun-loving American disagrees with anything he just said just right there. Nobody. Nobody. We all want that. See, the problem is how we go about it. You got one side that thinks that everything on paper is sunshine and rainbows, and all we have to do is ban this, ban that, and the bad guys will follow the rules. Then you got the other side like, are you fucking crazy? Bad guys ain't gonna follow the rules. We could ban all that shit all you want. They still gonna do what they want to do. But no 2A supporter, no upstanding citizen, no person in good, strong moral character and standing would disagree with what he just said just now. Let's keep it moving.
We need background checks. We need responsible gun ownership. Responsible gun ownership. We need background checks. We need to raise the minimum age to purchase an AR-15 rifle to 21.
He's reading from a book. He's reading from a script. We need background checks. We have background checks there, Matt. Oops. We have background checks. I just explained that at the beginning of the stream. We have background checks. We have a NICS background check. That's a federal background check right there. We have a federal background check, a universal background check. We have that. But see, the problem, like I said, is enforcing the laws on the books, and I've said that before. All federal and state agencies need to report to the NICS system, and they don't because it's not mandatory to do. We already got to fill the fucking form out, so make it mandatory that these state and federal agencies have to report, issues or people's sentencing or whatever to the NICS background. Now, do I agree with background checks? No, I don't. Because background checks don't work anyway. It doesn't really matter because criminals ain't going to a gun store and filling that shit out trying to buy a gun. They getting that shit on the street or how they see fit. Like I said before, if people got murder on their mind, they're going to figure that shit out. However, if that's how you want to go about it, and we're already doing the NICS form, make sure that every state and federal agency is reporting to the NICS form. Then you won't have shit like the Sutherland Springs shooting.
We need a waiting period for those rifles. We need...
Waiting periods do nothing. So you got somebody that's premeditated trying to pull some shit off. You don't think they can't wait 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, 10 days, a week? Waiting periods don't do shit. You know what waiting periods do? They hamstring the law-abiding citizens, making the law-abiding citizens vulnerable. Let me tell y'all a story. So one day I wanted to see how the legislative shit worked. I went down to Annapolis here in Maryland. I sat in and listened to a couple of cases. This lady comes up to testify on behalf of the 2A. She was a nurse. She was dating a guy. Guy got fucking crazy. His family got fucking crazy. She had to get a restraining order on him. He wouldn't honor the restraining order. Go figure. You're not gonna honor the fucking piece of paper that said stay away from me, right? So she applied for a gun license to protect herself. Now that their version of expedited was like 6 weeks or some shit like that. That was their version of expedited. So while she's waiting for her handgun permit, her right to carry, she's coming home. He catches her in the hallway of her apartment, rushes her in there, ties her up, somehow shoots himself, and then proceeds to R-word her for hours. Beats her to death. I mean, not to death, but beats her damn near to death. Crushed her skull, cracked her skull open, tied her to a chair, and then he eventually had to leave because he was bleeding out from his gunshot wound. Left her brain damaged. She was able to get free and crawl to the neighbor's apartment and get help. It was really fucked up because as she was talking and getting excited about the story, she was not excited in a good way, but getting all worked up over the story she was telling, her fucking brain shut off. And she just was in a blank stare for a few seconds. And then she said, I'm sorry. Due to the nature of the injury that she sustained from being fucked up by her crazy ex-boyfriend, if she gets too excited, she fucking has her brain basically just fucking short circuits. She has to live like that for the rest of her life. All because, and she wasn't but like 5'1", 100 pounds maybe. All because the state dragged their feet on getting her gun license. So she could protect herself and protect herself against that happening. But you don't hear them telling stories like that in the news. Doesn't fit the narrative. They don't want to look at the firearm as what it is, the great equalizer. Waiting periods are nothing but a detriment to the law-abiding citizens and the real people in danger.
Red flag laws and consequences for those who abuse them.
Okay. Red flag laws. No. I told a story on a podcast I was on. We had a guy in Maryland that was killed because of a family member calling the police on him because of red flag law. Family member thought it was weird that he had a bunch of guns, called the police on him. No, for no reason. He didn't say anything crazy or anything like that. Police show up to his house. They want to come in. He say no. Next thing you know, a standoff happens. Next thing you know, he dead. All because a family member thought it was odd that he had a bunch of guns. With no reason for even calling in the first place other than, oh, that's weird, he got a bunch of guns. However, people who abuse red flag call-ins should be a thing. To me, that it should be up there with swatting. You call on somebody saying, "Oh my God, he has a bunch of guns. He may go do something crazy," and then they go there and they like, "Yo, I just collect guns." Like, what the fuck? The person that called the police on that person should be subject to doing time, a fine, or whatever. It should be treated just like swatting. That's essentially what it is. Like I said, dude in Severna Park, Maryland, he died. Standoff with the police for what? For what? They want to come in and take his guns from him? Because a family member thought it was odd? Like all of a sudden, because you got an AR-15 or you got a Chris Vector or whatever, now your brain chemistry is going to switch over and you're going to be a fucking crazed person? It's what people really think. That's what people really think. I got an uncle. One day I finished building my 308. Finished building my nice 308 I go hunting with, right? So I took it so my mom could see it. Everybody was meeting over my uncle's house. So I took it, Now, silly me, I thought because my uncle was a fucking Marine that he wasn't a fucking sissy. I was like, oh, he was a Marine. He shouldn't have no problem with this. So, hey, Ma, check this out. 308 I built. He's like, oh my God, what do you have that for? Get that out of my house right now. I'm looking like, what? You shouldn't have that. That thing is not good for nothing but killing and da da da. So I said, hey, Unc, listen to yourself. Do you seriously think that I'm going to go out and commit some craziness with this gun simply because I have it? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's all that gun's good for. But I own it. I own it. This thing can't do anything that I don't will it to do. So do you really think that I'm going to go out because I have this gun and go do some crazy shit? Or do you think that I'm responsible and you know that I would never go out and take this thing out and go do some crazy nonsense with it? Well, I know that you wouldn't do it, but people, I said, never mind other people. This gun here belongs to me. You're acting like I just brought a murderer in your house. Listen to yourself. Well, I mean, I guess if you put it like that, I know you're not going to do something like that. So I said, so why are you acting like this thing got a mind of its own and it's going to hypnotize me and make me go do some shit I don't want to do? It's just a tool. I told him, I said, they're not going to come jump out my fucking safe and go marching down the street looking for fucking mischief. This is my 308. All right. This is my 308. I built this from scratch. Sourced all the parts. Right. Only life this thing ever took was a 300-pound wild hog. That's it. A 300-pound wild hog, the only life this thing ever took. You know why? Because I built this for hunting and long distance shooting. I didn't build this to go and do, irreparable damage to communities and fucking public places. No. I built this shit to be a precision rifle, right? That I could take an animal with out to 1,000 yards. That's it. A gun is only good as what you purpose it for. Period.
These are reasonable, practical, tactical regulations to our nation, states, communities, schools, and homes.
See, the thing about it is, they're not reasonable. They're a hindrance. They're a hindrance to law-abiding citizens. They're not reasonable. You know why? There would be no need for a red flag law if you guys enforced your NICS background checks. If you guys enforce the protocol for NICS, making the state and federal agencies report to NICS, it would be no need for a red flag law. I know people that own gun stores are like, yo, some tweaked out kid came in here, some tweaked out dude came in here trying to buy a gun. We turned that motherfucker away. Crazy people can fake sane until they do what they need to do. Sometimes you don't know until it's too late. In the cases of the kid in Texas, the kid in Buffalo, Sutherland Springs, Parkland, they had the signs there. See something, say something. People said something. They didn't do any fucking thing about it until the kid went and committed the ultimate act. Now you want men with guns to come to people's houses and take their right to, take their tools, take their weapons, take their guns, take their firearms without due process. Take the guns first, due process later. What you're asking. Violate my Second and Fourth Amendment. There's nothing practical about that, Matthew McConaughey. And I know you know that.
Responsible gun owners are fed up with the Second Amendment being abused and hijacked by some deranged individuals. These regulations are not a step back. They're a step forward.
No, they're a
for
step
civil
back.
Society and the Second Amendment.
They're a step back. They're a step back. They're a step. I'm sorry. It's a step forward. It's a step forward toward a dictatorship. It's a step forward toward a tyrannical government. It's a step forward toward completely disarming the populace. Nobody wants that. No sane American. No American that wants to preserve their life.
Look, is this cure-all? Hell no. But people are hurting. Families are, parents are. And look, as divided as our country is, this gun responsibility issue is one that we agree on more than we don't. It really is. Look, this should be a nonpartisan issue. This should not be a partisan issue. There is not a Democratic or Republican value in one single act of these shooters. It's not. But people in power have failed to act. So we're asking you. And I'm asking you, will you please ask yourselves, can both sides rise above? Can both sides see beyond the political problem at hand and admit that we have a life preservation problem on our hands? Because we got a chance right now to reach for and to grasp a higher ground above our political affiliations. A chance to make a choice that does more than protect your party. A chance to make a choice that protects our country now and for the next generation. We got to take a sober, humble, and honest look in the mirror and rebrand ourselves based on what we truly value. What we truly value. We got to get some real courage and honor our immortal obligations instead of our party affiliations. Enough with the counterpunching. Enough of the invalidation of the other side. Let's come to the common table that represents the American people. Find a middle ground, the place where most of us Americans live anyway, especially on this issue. Because I promise you, America, you and me, we are not as divided as we were being told we are. No. How about we get inspired? Give ourselves just cause to revere our future again. Maybe set an example for our children. Give us reason to tell them, hey, listen and watch these men and women. These are great American leaders right here. Hope you grow up to be like them. And let's admit it. We can't truly be leaders if we're only living for re-election. Let's be knowledgeable and wise and act on what we truly believe. Again, we got to look in the mirror, lead with humility, and acknowledge the values that are inherent to, but also above politics. We got to make choices, make stands, embrace new ideas, and preserve the traditions that can create true progress for the next generation.
He has some points there. All these politicians, we know they're living for the next election. They're living for the next election. They're living for the next election. He's right. However, this conversation that he wants to have, that conversation will never be had. That conversation will never be had. And we all know why. We all know why. Right? We all know why. Because it's just political theater. All the world's a stage. They want no real solutions to gun control. I mean, these shootings. They want no real solutions. Hell, Kufi on tight. Some of these instances may or may not be events created to take rights from the American people. See what you guys talking in the chat. Where we at? Well, you guys was going at it in the chat. Good Lord. Not going at it, but man. Brooke going super hard. Hey, Brooke, I feel you on some of your points, but you gotta kind of reel it in just a little bit so I don't get my stream banned. We talking code, you know what I mean? But I feel you on that. Like right here, perfect. He belongs to the One Eye Club. We get that. Yeah, he did speak for a long time, Hotep Oz, man. I didn't know he was going to do all that. He just, was trying to sell his points. You know what I mean? You know how it go. Kayak Dog, Amber Heard needed this guy as a coach. Brooke says, fairy tales. Really? He knows he's going to be exposed. I think he's setting up to run for office, I think. That's what it sounded like to me. Oh, she wouldn't do this. The Broccoli, what's up? Remember, Hollywood has a lot of open secrets about terrible acts involving kids. Yes, that's facts. That's facts. That's facts. Yeah, we had to skip forward on that. There was too much going on. Yeah, Brooke. Yeah, we know. Yeah, they definitely talking code. Come on. He owed somebody that. He owed somebody that. That speech he just gave today, he owed that to somebody. He looks like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Yeah, we all know that. Definitely is. Hey guys, if you haven't watched it yet, it's a pretty decent show. It's, We Own This City. It's on HBO Max. It's actually pretty interesting. It's pretty good. It's about the gun trace task force here in Baltimore, which was a big fucking problem. They were planting guns on people and some more shit. It's a real thing. It really fucking happened. And they're doing a show on it. It's called We Own This City. On HBO Max. Check that shit out. But yeah, law enforcement is a problem as well. And why would you want to give the monopoly on power to the law enforcement? All this Black Lives Matter and defund the police, and the police out here trying to kill black men walking down the street getting iced teas and Skittles and shit. But you want to give the monopoly on power to the police though. You think they're going to save your fucking life if some dude kicks your door in? They'll get there just in time to line you in chalk, take a report. Seconds count, police are minutes away. But you want to give them the monopoly on power? The NAACP here in Baltimore wants the fucking National Guard to come in and handle violent crime. They want the National Guard to come in. But they want to disarm you at the same time. That's the quickest way to a police state, people. Jay. So Matthew McConaughey was abused as a child, and his book is called Green Lights, which is why the green shoes as well. Symbolism. Woo. Woo. Brooke says the Franklin Beverly Institute was involved with the whole thing. Hey, they've been involved in a lot of shit. Remember Gretchen Whitmer up there in Michigan? I think was it like six of the 8 people were all informants and or worked for Franklin Beverly Institute. Kayak Dog says solution: rich people like Matthew McConaughey get private security. Are fine. The rest of us are screwed. Facts. Brooke says, what about illegals coming in? Do they have background checks? Nah, they just sneaking across the Rio Grande, hoping not to get caught. You know what I mean? Handy Bob says, notice we still don't know how the guy got over 4K worth of gear in such a short time. That's facts. That's facts. That's facts. We'll never know that shit, Handy Bob. You already know. You already know. Mexo says he's a clown for this. He is. Hollywood ain't for the people. It's not. It's not. I'm telling you guys. He owed somebody that. He owed somebody that. That's why he's up there doing that. I'm telling you. I hope you're right, Brooke. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Maxo, you're right. They should have no say over our freedoms. I don't care because he's been in a couple of movies. That don't make him a fucking intellectual. I'm not saying he's not smart, but it doesn't make him, it makes him, I guess, an influencer in a way, but it doesn't give him power over us. But you got the shallow folks out there. Oh my God, Matthew McConaughey speaking. We have to listen. Ridiculous. 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 I'm just saying, you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's fucking nonsensical. It's fucking ridiculous. Yo. I'm telling you, this shit, it irks me. It irks the shit out of me. Every time you see T.I. with his fucking glasses on, using words that he don't know. Fucking LeBron James acting like he done read Malcolm X's book or whatever. And people, they just want to hear what they got to say. And this shit's annoying. It's fucking annoying. Hey, you preaching to the choir, Brooke. Preaching to the choir. Handy Bob says they always neglect to talk about the majority of criminals that are caught with firearms are never convicted of that charge. They plea bargain and then the first charges drop or gun charges. That's facts. And I said that before. They don't enforce the laws on the books, and then they give people chance after chance after chance. They give them chance after chance after chance until they go out here and they commit the ultimate act of killing somebody. And now they're like, oh my God. And his fucking rap sheet was fucking 17 pages. You seen it? You keep talking about red flags. There the fuck you go. He should have been locked up 17 pages ago. But you kept dropping them charges until he actually took somebody out of here. Yeah, guns are just mechanical parts and ammo. Brooks says, Learn Your Natural Laws. It's a book called the Bible. We gave our rights away to these corrupt entities. She named a bunch of them. It's time to take your rights back. Stand up. Your divine rights. Jay says, what do you say? Some bed knobs and broomsticks seen marching autonomous tools out doing missions. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. You know, I do need to get me a 300 blackout, at least an upper. I mean, I can always just slap a 300 blackout upper on my pistol. I've been thinking about that. But if I get a 300 blackout, I want to get me a suppressor as well. Probably do that. Just probably do that soon. Brooks says, look up Straight Out of Babylon by David Straight. It's on YouTube. All right, I'm going to check that out. Steph says police are a hindrance to law-abiding citizens. That is facts. That's facts. That's facts. Dramatic effect and, you know, according to my man Jay, symbolism. You know. But I seen you guys talking about, you know, buying an AR. You can get them as cheap as like $550. I've seen them up to like a couple of grand, depending on what you want to spend on them. Right now, because they're coming after them, it's going the price going to be at a premium. I'm just going to tell you that. You're probably not going to get one for no less than like $700 or $800. Probably the cheapest you'll find one. You know what I mean? And that depends on what state you live in. Different states have different prices. So, like I said, the cheapest you'll find like a base AR right now, I'm gonna just say between $900. Every time they come for them, the prices go up. That's how that works. Jay says he's equating law-abiders who love the 2A with the deranged. Yeah, he is. He did. You know. Man, Amal Wilson in the building. Kayak Dog says the remix shutdowns have created mental illness among kids. We will see more of this. I see many kids admitted for suicide watch. Damn. At my hospital and limited services in the community, but billions to Ukraine. That is facts. That is facts. What up, LP? Why Dems always have to put famous guy in front of us? This reminds me of them rappers saying go out and vote. Yeah, remember that? What was it, Ohio? I think Hillary Clinton had a rally and she ain't say a fucking word. All she did was just send the black man out there to tap dance and sing for her. That's all she did. You know? Or who was it? Was it Stacey Abrams who had fucking Beyonce and Oprah and LeBron James out there canvassing for her in Atlanta? That's what they do. They think we shallow. They think that's all. We see some star power and we'll jump right behind it. I mean, there's some people like that, but I don't think they're the majority. Brooke says they aren't gods. Learn your sovereign laws. I hear you. I hear you. That's facts. What's up, Alvin? My man James S with the first super chat of the night. Says with Treadstone working overtime, think about putting the first few seconds of the Born theme on the soundboard. I think you might be right. I'm gonna have to put the Born theme on my soundboard. I think I'm gonna do that. I think you're right. I think you're right about that. That's true. Anyway, I mean, I disagree with him on what he thinks needs to be done. As far as now, do we need to protect our children? Yes. Do we need to do something about mental illness? Yes. Do we need to protect our schools? Yes. Not just our schools. We need to protect our homes. We need to protect all public places. I don't give a fuck if it's the library, the fucking gas station. It doesn't matter. Right? But I don't think gun control is the way to go, because banning shit ain't going to stop somebody who got murder on their mind. Somebody that's meaning to do harm to people and want to do harm to people, they're going to figure out how to do that shit regardless of what they need to do that shit. Like I said, the fucking Boston Marathon used pressure cookers. In New York, they had a dude run people over with fucking U-Haul truck. Some guy was running around stabbing motherfuckers in the UK a couple years back. If they want to do harm, they're going to figure it out. They don't need a gun. They have knife buyback programs in They have knife buyback programs in the UK. I think you can't have over a certain size knife in your fucking house or some shit like that. Red flag law is a big fucking no-no. That's a big Fourth Amendment fucking violation, the red flag law. That's a big 2A violation, the red flag law. That's one thing I definitely disagree with old Donnie T on. Especially when he said the due process, to take guns first. I was like, oh, hell no, you tripping, Donnie. You tripping. There's a conversation to be had, though. There's definitely a conversation to be had. But like I said earlier, it seems like one side ain't willing to have that conversation because their logic is flawed and they know it. Their logic is flawed and they know it. That's an argument they wouldn't win. So what they do is they bring people out, you know what I mean, like this, to tug on your heartstrings. They show you the pictures of the kids to tug on your heartstrings. They say buzz lines. You know, like, you don't support the troops. You don't support protecting our children. You know what I mean? Alvin said he's good at reading scripts, and he was reading one. That's facts. LP said you can't stop the grift. My man Jimmy said suppressor and night vision. I hear that shit. And he give me a suppressor for it. They say that shit's illegal. You know what it takes to get a suppressor? So a suppressor can cost anywhere between like $300 and a good suppressor, probably looking at like 7 or 8, right? But you can't just buy it and walk out the store with it, right? You gotta put in ATF paperwork. It takes 7 months. All right, fingerprints and all that shit. 7 months. All right. And a $200 NFA tax stamp. So not only paying like between $400 and $800 for a suppressor, now you gotta pay an extra $200 on top of the price you just paid for that. Now you gotta pay another $50 for fucking fingerprints. And whatever the fee is to fucking send that paperwork to the ATF, that takes 7 months for them to get back to you and say, yeah, you can have this fucking tube that takes your gun from a fucking bomb to a jackhammer. It's fucking crazy. But that's what they want to do with the AR. That's what they want to do with all so-called quote-unquote assault rifles or weapons of war. They want to put it on the NFA list, so you have to pay $200 to the NFA, to the ATF for every single fucking gun you got, every magazine you got, all that shit. They trying to break you. They want to make it so fucking unappealing that you just say fuck it. That's what they want. That's what they want. Jimmy says, I'm sick of their taglines as they actively do nothing to strengthen schools. Not to mention those who are supposed to protect were outside for an hour. That's facts. That's facts. You ever wonder why you never hear about a real school shooting, like a mass shooting in like the inner cities? Right? You know why? Because the inner cities actually got police at the fucking schools. They got school resource officers at the fucking schools. They got metal detectors at the schools. The kids got to wear clear book bags at the schools. That's why you never really hear about that shit in like inner city schools. Motherfucker couldn't pull nothing off there if he tried. I know here, Baltimore City, fucking police rating to jump in the motherfucker ass. Don't give him a reason. Damn, you about to get your suppressors, y'all? I hear you. I hear you. But damn, that's a long fucking time. A fucking 100 is crazy. Anyway. I hear that shit. I appreciate you, Steph. Stay safe, stay well, and stay strapped. Period. Facts. Facts. But check it. Gun control is racist. Gun control does nothing but hinder the law-abiding citizen. Leaves the law-abiding citizen defenseless. They want you defenseless. They want you dependent on the government. They don't want you to have your civil liberties. They want you subservient. And the way they're going to do that is they're going to do it through fear and debt. That's how it works. I know you're talking about the handy bob, the solvent traps. Yeah. I heard about that. But anyway, I appreciate you guys rolling with me tonight. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like, hit that share button, share the stream. If you're catching the replay, leave me a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. You think Matthew McConaughey lost his goddamn mind? You think he has some points? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Anyway, before I get out of here though, August the 11th through the 13th. Hotep weekend in Vegas at the Ahern Hotel. August 11th through the 13th. You'll see me, Hotep Jesus, Uncle Hotep. Special guests. We got a celebrity chef, Mark. Delicious food, man. Delicious food. A great melding of the minds. Great build sessions. We're going to have a fun time. You get to shoot guns with me, Ken, and Hotep. We're going to talk about some 2A stuff, some gun safety. You know, Hotep's been told you live with a studio audience when you get there. Fantastic hotel just off the strip. So if you want to go gamble, you can go gamble. This ain't one of those things where you'll see us up on the stage and then you won't see us again. No, we out here, we having fun, we mingling, we doing our thing, we loving it every minute of it. Hotep weekend, August 11th through the 13th. If you ain't got your tickets, get your tickets right now. Use the promo code Cannon to get your 10% off your tickets. Again, that's the promo code Cannon, CANNON, to get your tickets and 10% off. Hotep weekend. Tickets are going fast. I hope I see you there. Anyway, it's getting late. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm going to get me something to eat. But anyway, people, listen. Fight like hell to keep your civil liberties. Fight like hell for self-preservation. All my 2A people out there, fight like hell to keep your guns. This is Canon Hotep saying stay safe, stay well, stay strapped. Don't let them come take your rights away from you people. And don't fall for these celebrity traps. I'll holla at you.